Good morning from Wickersham Canine Ranch in beautiful Marshall, North Carolina. Today we have assembled little Miss Dasiy Mae, and what we're doing is her obedience basics reintegration lesson consisting of 4 things. First is a right hand box heel with forward motion.
Dasiy.
Our handler steps off with the left foot and continues moving at all times. Pattern of motion is set up so that the dog should be parallel left with us, and if she looks at the camera or steps off of parallel left, then she will issue her own correction. So I see at this point she is racking or working. The top line looks pretty good. Got this pre-existing, it gives her a little bit of a hop, but we like it because it gives her character. She can't inline run with everybody. Our second one, please. Note the left foot step off and the 90-degree pivot. The recital effect of the dog looking in the camera. I'm going to ask you to slow down a little bit. So we have a smaller pattern for a smaller dog. So no matter what, the handler has to continue forward. And we have to present 7 to 8 right hand 90-degree turns. And then we cease the motion. We'll give a signal and an inducive reward. We run this in triplicate. The dog's always being talked to with some signals with the handler. Our third and final. We're going to work our target sound with high praise, and we'll go silent so you can see it and hear it.
Good job. Good girl.
Good girl. Nice. When it's time for a distraction, we present it on the outside. Again, so as the dog makes his own passive correction. She's perfect there.
Sit. Good girl.
We can also manipulate just a little bit of plane and angle with the dog and make sure that she doesn't cross some critical lines. All right, so let's move to exercise 2. Everybody take a deep breath. Let's hit the water bottle. All right, so we're parallel left. Our handler has jiggled the leash just a little bit to let the dog know it's tethered. We're moving into our second exercise, which is a 90-degree box heel to the left. Handler steps off with the target sound in the left foot and then executes a 90-degree left off of a strong pivot. Inverted pivot, stick up toe, and here we go. Boom. The dog's counter, you can see her tongue come out as soon as the footwork is correct. Good. And at some point the puppy's going to get bumped into, and I see her strategy. Good, right there it was.
Good job.
We're going to frame a signal when we come to a rest. Our handler elected the 3rd lap because she's sniffing in and through, and she was trying to break his pace. His expertise did not allow that to happen.
Good girl.
Love it. We're not worried about the inset angle off of induction because we're going to replace with the object of attraction. 3rd and final so the dog can remember it forever. Love how you handle.
Good girl.
She's going variance a little bit. Still getting the sniff, saying she's not paying attention, but we watch the shoulder joint, and indeed she is. Nice. Good pivot. We could always take our right hand and place it on our navel if we find that she is forging just a little bit to look at the hand.
Good.
Not a girl.
Sit. Good girl.
So we use these 2 as our basics principles to frame in a rudimentary intersection of don't cross and don't forge. We can top this off and smooth it out with a little fine sandpaper if you want, with a figure 8. Ready when you are. And this with each pace. I'm going to drop that buckle a 1/2 inch and just take her for 2 laps. What happens is the dog has to pick up pace, and on the interior it learns to slow. Alright, and so we can manipulate that if we wanted to with compulsion and a little twitch, and then our handler should slow on the interior. Both new for these 2. Right. We're going to come to rest in the middle and shake it out.
Sit.
Atta girl. Good rep. I'm going to step in. I'm going to give Bryce a little break. We'll go second handler, and we're just going to take a quick look at what the dog does as she goes through the same pattern of motion. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. So all I've done is I've slowed it down just a little bit. Good, good, good. Good. She's still looking with the same angles. We're still looking at the same intersection where I can begin to frame her beautiful little muzzle in. Good Dasiy Mae, that's my sweet girl. Ooh-wee, I love my Dasiy. Good, good, good. And so I have to check to get forward there, slower here. Good, good, good. Still working the same intersection. And now we can frame her out where we need to. Good girl, that's my good girl. So we're going to move on through to the third exercise. All right, so we have assembled, and we have Bryce and we have Dasiy Mae for exercise 3. There's a couple cookies on the outside with the helper, and then we have our puppy dog handler combination. Very simply, he's going to bowl the dog forward.
Daisy, friends.
And at that point, we're going to make ourselves accessible with Cookie and Touch from underneath the dog. All right. Then we are going to practice calling the dog away from Cookie and Touch with the cues.
Daisy, leave it, heel.
She's to perform that one-piece recall and come to rest at the intersection of don't cross and don't forge, or the finish. We run 3 in a minimum every day.
Daisy, friends.
Good, good, good. Again, accessibility from underneath. That's going to get that tail wagging and that nose up. We'll be able to touch our puppy, domesticate it, go through a couple different sequences and touch, and we can take some measurements.
Daisy,
good. This is behavior. Somebody's doing their work. Good job. Good job. If you see conditioned behaviors in the sequences and everything that we like, then we can get bonus footage and work on awfully skilled acquisitions. Third and final, so the dog will remember it forever. You can run multiple sets. Good. I love how he framed the stay signal language before with the right of the body before he sent the dog. Oh, she snuck a kiss.
Daisy, leave it, heel. Good girl. Sit.
Beautiful
Good
one
girl.
piece. All right, so for repetitions 4 and 5, we're going to showcase a couple things. Number 4 would be where we can begin behavior modification. Ready when you are?
Daisy.
No, send her to me.
Daisy, friends.
And the first thing on modification is we're going to start to make sure the dog doesn't jump up on person. All right, and all we have to do is have someone that will frame out that posture so as that we can practice
Leave it, heel.
a one-piece recall.
Good girl.
Ah, my
Good
girl. When we know the dog looks good and we think that she's ready for a down while healing, then we can begin our patterns of motion and our recalls. So we're going to count to 3, we're going to off-lead her and send her to me.
Daisy. Friends.
Hey, baby girl. I'm going to wait it out. She's going to talk. I'll give her a little cookie, a little affirmation. Then I'll go naughty neighbor.
Daisy, leave it, heel. Good
She
girl.
excels. She
Good
excels.
girl.
Nice. I'm a girl. So obviously we're working with some induction. Look how much she loves her work. And we look forward to continuing to expand her capacities. Let's move on. So we have assembled what we're going to do is exercise 4, which can be in tier. Our objective is to be able to show the dichotomy of being with the dog versus a location downstay within the den, but it can expand into the training areas as well. The first thing that we're going to do is make sure the dog understands that she is with us and then tethered as well. And then we're going to start the process of command cue place.
Daisy. Good girl. Place. Good.
You see a sequence of signals with the stay signal and the separation rather quickly. He rotates into this position and then it gives a second signal. We know that they have worked on this particular maneuver and decreased the amount of repetition that we will have to work off the duration because we performed the split and the dog is starting to fuse all the behaviors together. We always, as good practice, return to the dog out of the location downstay, and then we enunciate the high tone release of you're through.
You're through.
Nice.
Good girl.
With some motion.
Good girl. Good girl.
We work in a set of 3 so as that we can read our training matrix for progression.
Good. Dizzy, please. Good.
Less experienced dogs off of a success on one will try variants. We're going to really put it to her this time with the split where someone comes betwixt. Perhaps pour a little bit of water. Come right back through, splitting the handle and dog combination, giving us an opportunity for active rapport-based communication. If we can do that, then there's no sense in laying around with the dog watching the clock. Okay? Facilitate that and get out of good rep. High tone.
All through. Good
Nice.
girl.
Yes, sir.
Good girl.
So this is our 3rd and final. We're really going to put it to her. And that we're going to make the distraction difficult. But in this strategy here, what we really want to do is create the success on 3, since we've been successful on 2 and 1. Good. Critter doesn't move. At that point, we start to expand things, make it a little bit more difficult. We're still showing things for the dog that could make it break, giving him opportunities to reiterate his position. That's a fantastic set. Let's move on and go play.
Dizzy, all through. Good girl. Good job.
That's my boo.
Good job.
That's my boo. Good morning. Good morning for Wickersham Canine Ranch. Today we got the amazing, incredible George, Mr. Greg. We're going to work our obedience basics. I'm stepping off with the left foot with the target sound. I get the sense that this guy has worked before. I'm going to pivot and turn. Good. So is that first time he sees the camera, he understands thereafter he's supposed to be with me. We'll frame a couple leash positions and body positions for you. Good, 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 good. Here. Good boy. And work him in and through his first right hand box heel. I'm really getting into it. I will actually, with the larger dog, with athleticism, get that knee down so as that I can finish the dog or correct him out of motion. George is a little bit more, shall we say, advanced in years, and so what we're beginning to do with him is show him the same things that he's learned before with just a little bit more perhaps accountability through lead and reward on a daily basis. Good, so is that we can get him to showcase the awesome skills that he already has. So he's going to bounce off of the corner, and he's going to check my resolve, and he's going to check out my intensity 2 level. Go, 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 go. He's going to weigh all these fun things out, and he's basically going to showcase a parallel left, good, which makes him a part of the pack member. This particular dog, we've begun a stand finish because he's advanced in age, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, George, I'm going to get my count. And then I'm going to go to the withers, down the back line, to the foreleg, to the flew, and to the ear. On the 6th count, I'm going to reach to the dog, and I'm going to reward him. If the dog sits in the process, all I have to do is begin my forward motion so as that we can begin the opportunity of delineating the difference between a sit finish and a stand finish. If he's in an urban environment, and he's pounding some concrete, we don't necessarily want to sit at each and every curb. Good. So the only way that we can do that is make sure that the dog has economy of motion so as that he understands accelerate's going to be with the left. Good. And that a finish break is going to be with the inside of the hip. As soon as he sticks that right shoulder in the ground, on my 3rd repetition, I'm going to reiterate. I'm going to move the dog because he's basically defaulting. His brain's going to stop working as soon as that butt hits the ground because he's seen material before. Stand and stay, so we're delineating. And he's also trying to figure out if I've got him accountable while I narrate. So here we go. I'm going to count. I'm going to get my 1, my 2, my 3, my 4, and my 5. As you can see, on the 6, I reward, and I'm reiterating the stay language. On 7, I can present a cookie with a drop on the front side and hold him accountable. Good dog. So I'm gonna get my cookie back up. We're still on the 3rd repetition pattern for the dog. My eyes are still peripheral on the shoulder, which is the accountability piece. I can go to a opposition when he starts to talk, reflex. Good, I note his opposition is in a stinker old butt turd position from good. Him thinking perhaps he's older than me. No, heel, let's go. And so we will play in and through the communication cycle with the dog until he gives us what I want. We see the sniff, and I'm gonna correct, no, heel, and I'm gonna reload. That's my only recourse, is to move him back and through. I'm on my 3rd rep, and I want to finish him. Good, good. And so again, as soon as I flash that stay and that shoulder moves forward, I'm looking for the shoulder to go into the ground with no variance. That's why we keep telling everybody no shake, folks, no shake. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still all looking for my submissive behaviors. Good dog. Still getting a little induction. Good dog. Finish the set and move on. Good. Start the 2nd piece of movement. I note my dog is in front of me, which an older dog will do. I'll bring him around on a 1 piece so as that I can start exercise 2. Close my hip to him. Good. Lets him know exactly where the line is for start and finish. Intersection of don't forge. That's where it's at, dog. So we're going to go exercise 2. We're going to step off with the dog. George, heel. Going to step and turn. You may bump that dog out of your way so long as you use your proper footwork. Good. And at that point, we are working on that intersection of don't cross and don't forge. Now we could just simply correct the dog, good, good, good. But if we use the pattern of motion, good boy, heel, then we can win him over and read the dog's behavior. That wasn't an accident. That dog crossed my line on purpose. Good, and here we are. End of repetition 1. So we're going to go to 2, heel. I'm going to step turn, good. You already know this, let's go. And it's just a matter of showing the dog that you're going to work this 3-set pattern every day, 10 days. Can be done inside, it's hot, but we can get up early and get our stuff done. But once we start to see in day 7 through 10 that the dog is always getting it right, no sir, nothing splits us. That's what we're doing. Dog's going to show us variance. We're going to praise him and give him rewards when he's in the slot, and when he's outside of the slot, we're going to continue moving and we're going to correct him on the fly. Heel, that's how he's going to learn how to heel proper. Good. With pace and playing, good job. So is it something that we can use for behavior modification or teaching systems of work? That's why we walk him around. Is to set up the plane for 3 and everything thereafter. Good boy. You do it long enough, your footwork will be at least acceptable enough to communicate what it is that we need. 3, 2, 1. I got me an edge. Uh-oh. Finishing in a sit with delineation. He's got me thinking about playing so much that I wasn't even worried about where we stop. Here's your submissive paw. 3rd one, heel. We still got a lot of work to do at home. Our position buckle is great. We're going to teach everybody at home to move forward. We're going to turn in front of the dog. Good. 7 to 8 times. We're not going to avoid contact. We're not going to be pulling on the lead. Bumping him out of the way. Good job, George. Good boy. Good. Good job. We start to frame that leash out. He or she who dictates the pace of the game most certainly will always win. 3, 2, good. Good, heel. I'm going to pull him forward into a stand and a stay. Try to get that body and that mind working together. Good, he's so used to seated. Good. You see how I just kept moving. You have to keep moving, you can't stop. Good. Signal, the touch, which is critical. to finish out any repetition. Confirm he's locked. No. Move him forward if you have to. Good. Go baby steps. Frame it. Stand. Stay. He's laughing. Go here. Go here. Good. That's classical conditioning. Note that we're forward on that. We haven't done a lot with him. Good. Just frankly, sometimes he has a bad attitude. Good boy. 1, 2, 1, 2. Under the collar a little. Help you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release him through. Good. Finish him where I want it. Good. Heel. Good. So yeah, we're going to argue a few more days with sit versus stand when we want to finish him. Truthfully, at home, the reason that we are putting in the advanced concept is because he needs to be touched more often in a stand stay, so is that we can get him used to all the things that folks are going to do to make sure that he's well cared for throughout his life cycle. All right, and so we're just looking to make everybody safer, good, and clarify for the dog so that he's safer as well. Good boy.
And we're live.
All right, here we go. We're going to work George's third exercise, which is the friend leaves heel. First thing that we're going to do is going to make sure we have a handler and Mr. George on a leash and collar. Then we've got a family member on the outside that knows to give George a cookie and touch him. Pretty cool.
George, friends.
As he approaches, I'm going to make my body postures round, and I'm going to pet him from underneath. And that was going to give us an opportunity to bring him away from the old touch and the cookie.
Leave it, heel. Good boy.
He does his one piece.
Boy.
He gets his signal, and we are finishing in sit because we just argued a little bit about what we were going to do today. All right, so we go to our second one. I love that. I can work with it.
George, friends.
Good boy. This time I'm going to keep my shoulders up a little bit. I'm going to wait him out. Perhaps I'll make a platform to see if I can get him to jump. Good.
Leave it.
Oh, wow.
Good boy. Good boy, George. Sit.
Good job. I see a submissive paw out of the dog. Everything I need. This time I'll go with a reflex action, like I'm afraid of him.
George, friends.
And once he approaches, good.
Oh, good boy. Good boy.
Good dog, good dog.
Good boy.
All right. Now let's expand. Lose my mind because I haven't seen George in 3 months.
George,
Hey George, oh my goodness, what a good boy you are. All right, that's good. At some point we can reach in there and grab the dog, expand the touch a little bit, making sure that we don't have a play bite. Please make sure your dog knows who these people are that are touching him that way. And then we're going to
leave it.
good. Shake it off and get back to my handler. Good dog. Good dog. So we give him that little bit of extra touch. We're kind of measuring him and we'll see what his capacity is. So bonus footage for George would be to off lead, send him forward, recall him, and then put him back on lead.
Friends.
Hey George. Hey George, you be my friend. Of course I've got the cookie, see that? That's a submissive posture right there, and he is literally ripping my fingers to pieces there. Easy,
George.
easy. Hang on, I'm not done yet, we're teaching. Good, we'll go here with a correction as if I'm a brother. And then you'll see the submissive paw. And I'm going to basically roll that between the center to the guard, between the tackle. And then I'm going to give it to him, and then he's ready.
George, leave it, heel. Heel. Good boy.
Nice one piece. We just got to work on a little bit of etiquette. Let's do that. Learn that respect lesson out of a grooming session and move on. We're on exercise 4. We've assembled with George, and what we're going to work on outside is our location downstay and or place. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to touch him a little bit in our neutral area, maybe near our chair or our workstation. Then we're going to send him our way to his location downstay.
George. Place.
Series of sequences.
Good.
Not bad. Big signal. And we separate. Good on repetition 1. Dog of this age gets his signal. Once the handle is at rest, we perform the split on repetition 1, and then we go. This guy right here as the handler is looking at the dog's shoulder so the dog can look into his eyeballs. Good. We complete the repetition, about 40 seconds, hold duration. We return to the dog always, and then we release with
George, all through.
Nice.
Good boy, good boy.
We touch him up a little bit, and then we get 2 more so he can remember it forever. He's got to be pretty solid because he's got to lead little Dasiy Mae in through the process. They need to be placed separate from each other and then placed together as well as we progress.
George.
All right, so big signal off the induction. He's checking for pheromones. Hey. Good. Good. Woo-wee. So we should expect in this training metrics that the dog is going to have a quote-unquote mistake or challenge the handler at some point. I think these two, this one's anticipating the correction. A lot of times you see old sniff move and step out. Good. So Bryce basically showed his line, give the dog the correction that was warranted. Here is your comprehension on thereafter. He's reiterated his stay signal. And we get out of this rep. So far we've got a positive, and then we've got one that contains a correction. The dog will weigh the competing alternative. Wow, George, your big brother told you no there. I saw it. I saw him on eyes. We get to touch, which sometimes he avoids. See that pheromone check there? Good. So we got a plan for that. Let's go.
Good boy, George. Let's
Good. This is submissive paw, cooperative dog.
Stay.
Good, but he is reconciling the differentiation of why we're doing this right now. He's old enough to wonder. So we come in and through. If we have any children in the house, we instruct them that when the dog is in a location downstay, that is a no-touch zone. Don't mess with the dog when he's in his downstay. Non-negotiable. Again, children don't get to touch the dog when they're in the downstay. Good. So we're there. We've got the comprehension on. The dog's not moving. He's ready to move into some fun stuff. This fire release. Get on with it.
George, good boy.
Good job, George.
Good job, good job.
All right, I'll meet you at. Stand. Good. Stay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Watching his shoulder on the interior side. Good boy. Basically loaded the dog into the stand stay. Have him accountable. Good boy. And then I'm going to fire the release. Shake it out. What we're beginning to do is we're beginning to pair the stand stay with a little bit more grooming. And it's not because his coat is not in wonderful order. It is to make sure that he continues to take touch or tactile stimulation. Good, with positive attitude. We're going to start to use our obedience. George, heel. Good boy. He just said he wanted a cookie. I saw that. Good boy. Going to bring him on around. George, heel. Up. Our stand's going to be 90 degrees here. Good, and then a forward point. Shoulders basically closed as is the hip. Just teaches the dog real rudimentary stay language. The accountability points to the shoulder. We're in our second rep. It's been prepped for about 5 days with basically doing the same exercise with the 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 5, and then we release. Now we're starting to get into application. So we're in a stand situation. We reiterate our stay, show our object, and we're just going to go down that body line. And I want this to be performed in front of his little sister as well. Good. So is that we can talk to George and make sure that he understands that we have that opportunity to touch him, groom him, perform the husbandry piece. There's this non-negotiable. If he moved that shoulder 1 iota, I would tell him no and make him do it again. So the dog's got 2 good ones in his sequence, and what we're hoping for is our puppy to be able to get into the 3rd one so that we can move on. If he answers this one right, we have no need to do any more. Let's go. It would just be a standard application. Heel. Good. My stand. Good. My stay. So you make him lock it before he makes the mistake. He might be getting a little tired. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Good. Interior body line. Exterior body line. On 3 counts. Once he proves he'll hold that, and the shoulders can start to fold. Good. We work with this guy pretty good. Good job. Eventually we're going to go down the body line and the belly line and around the butt. And we're going to get him to 90 seconds. No, sir. So what I'm looking for is correction so I can get 3 more values offset. Good. Get George his money's worth. Good boy. So if we defaulted on 3, we do 3 more. No worries. It's tough, tough, tough. Good. Let's go, George. You ready? Good. Talk it out. Do my stay step around him. Through the line. Good boy, almost done. Good job. 1, 2, 3, but it's going to be on your terms as the handler when this shoulder is released. Good job. Got some big old shoulders. Good boy. And you are one of the softest dogs in the county. Good boy. You got bug. Good job. Good boy.